Hey guys, we have a very interesting week in the market here. We have, corporate earnings coming out that are blowing through expectations of who, because it's obvious we inflated our way into this, so it was going to happen. We also have an issue where, people aren't working as much and they're spending as much as ever, in fact, more. And so today, of course, something else we could have predicted, delinquencies on credit cards have gone up. Well, you might look at that, and if you're, bearish and you look historically in the markets, you go, well, gosh, that feels a little bit like 2006. Well, it's different. Let me tell you what's different. In 2006, leading up into the 2007 hell year, that ultimately resulted in 08 and 09, and we were all here in real estate to feel the very direct effects of a market pullback. It was rough. And what we learned during that time was that there was a such thing as too big to fail. But since then, everyone became too big to fail. We did all these EIDL loans and the PPP. And then we did, here's your child tax credit, and here's your COVID money in the mail, everything else. So as you look at the market right now and you go, gosh, delinquencies are going up, mortgage rates just went up again, and the Fed isn't talking about bringing rates down, know that they don't have to, because the prevailing method of dealing with this now is simply to write more checks. And you can be one of those people, conservatives, like I grew up with. I'm from Indiana, so I tend to lean very conservative, maybe more of a libertarian kind of approach to politics. But if you're looking at this and you're going, gosh, we keep writing checks, our deficits are higher or whatever, and you think that by criticizing that you're going to have any effect at all. You're not, trust me. I don't know anyone with a big enough voice, even Jamie Dimon has tried to get spending under control, has tried to get craziness under control. It doesn't work. But if you have debt, and you have debt at low interest rates, which most of us do. I still have mortgages that are sub 3%. Well, that debt's just getting cheaper by the day for us. And if you're in businesses that can easily inflate, which I wish home inspection were more flexible with that. It's not, unfortunately. But for those of you that have gotten into other services, you're seeing price flexibility. So, now would be a great time to start up another one of those. But as long as you have that price flexibility and you have low interest debt, or you get low interest debt, and the things that you're invested in are not just cash or money market or limited interest rate, but rather, good purchases, good companies, the big ones, the ones that we've been talking about, you're going to be in a good place. Now let's talk about a couple of specific things, stock-wise, picks right now, and what's happening, what's going to work, what's not. McDonald's is getting crushed, and that is not going to stop. They have moved their prices up. There's no coming back from that. And they're starting to see that they were exactly what we thought they were. They're a cheap place for people that can't afford lunch at a different kind of place or a more expensive place to go and get a hamburger. And instead of staying on that path and not just serving the billions and billions that they've served already, but serving the next billions and billions, they went with a higher price point trying to beat inflation. And they overstepped it. Their demand is going down, and they're trying to make up for it by changing the quality of the food. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to a McDonald's or if you've ever seen the hordes walking out of there, but I've been to one a couple times. I don't go there frequently, but when I do, I see kids smiling. I see people leaving the restaurant, full or taking their sack with them with those fries that smell delicious. Nobody was complaining about the food, and they were solving a problem that didn't exist, and or they're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist in order to make up for the real problem, which is that they made a pricing error. They went way too far on the inflation side. So unfortunately, I own a little bit of it, but I was never big into McDonald's. I was only there because I wanted to have a food play, and it was one that I never mentioned in the group, I don't think, as far as something to buy. I will keep an eye on it. If it dips down enough, not like McDonald's is closing tomorrow. Let me see what else was on my mind stock tip wise. I think that some of the airlines are going to turn into a major win. I think Boeing is going to be a major win. Every piece of news I hear about Boeing and the airlines associated with the 737 MAX, and the fact that these things just blow apart now. Cool. Another reason not to fly commercial. They say that as if it's like a problem, but let's be honest. Who else are you going to fly with other than United and Delta and JetBlue and Spirit and all these? Of course, they're going to stay in business, and they're going to have more and more traffic. That is absolute. And Boeing's an American company that makes big metal aircraft, and there's nobody else really doing that. Airbus is French, which, I'm not saying we hate the French, but we don't love them. And it's not an American company, so you don't get the same benefits for writing contracts with them as you do with a French company. And the expense, the labor expense in Europe is huge. Eventually, Boeing wins that battle, and the more pain they have, the more their stock goes down over things that are one-time occurrences in an incredibly safe environment where they check every bolt, they check the torque on everything, and they even put this little wax thing across the screws. And in my aircraft, they do this to know that they haven't moved. Somebody effed up, or something just happened, and it wasn't even. I don't even think it killed anybody. Did it kill anybody, Jay? I don't think it killed anybody.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Boeing thing, where it's just like the wall fell out of it. I think the people were pissed off, but they didn't die. This isn't the kind of thing that takes a company down, and there's no replacement for them. For those of you who have been trading FedEx, going on to FedEx, if you've been trading FedEx like I have, like I've been encouraging to, I'm pretty far up on that one. I'm not where it's going to be. There is no way to replace FedEx in this market. UPS is seeing a little bit of pullback because people are getting price sensitive. FedEx has them beat on price, and they have them beat on overhead. I get that some days aren't great for FedEx in the market, and traders out there think that the cost of cardboard is going to, screw them up. I don't buy that. And I can tell you this, if you gave me $10 billion, $100 billion, and it doesn't matter. You could give me any amount of money and tell me to go compete with FedEx and UPS. I couldn't do it. And that's the same thing for Boeing. So those two, I'm in. I love the dips. They're nice, safe plays if you ask me. And I want my money to be in something like that, because as inflation happens, there's a whole team of people at Boeing and at FedEx that responsibly move those prices, and they don't make the McDonald's mistake. So anyway, that's a little stock analysis for this week. Maybe Jimmy Ward watched, because he's the one who told me to keep posting this stuff. So anyway, see you guys.